Welcome back to What We Watched. We are on episode 002. I am Matt Wazbinski, and we are talking about Oscars. In part one, we talked about what I liked, what I didn't like about the Oscars, and now we are going to go into what we need to now call Envelopegate, which I hate naming things Envelopegate because I feel like everything's based off of the Watergate scandal. And the problem with that is it was a Watergate hotel, so it wasn't like that was the scandal itself. But that's kind of a weird rabbit trail. So Envelopegate, or whatever you would like to call it. Basically, what happened was last night, we are at the end of the show, the last award, and they announce the winner as La La Land. People are like, oh, shocked, I can't believe it. Woo! Chase, you need to... Oh, I hate you so much, Chase. Anyways. So everyone is shocked and they can't believe it. And so it takes a minute or two. La La Land comes up. Producers are giving acceptance speeches. And then someone says, we didn't win. And one of the producers comes up and he says, no, this is not a joke. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture. This is not a joke. I'm not kidding. He shows the audience the card that says Best Picture, Moonlight. And it turns out that Moonlight is actually who won the Best Picture. And it was chaos for about 2 to 3 minutes where La La Land's team is kind of still on stage and Moonlight is kind of off to the side, not really sure. Is this sort of like a symbolic gesture? Very much Adele, Beyonce, like, oh, you deserve it, so let's just kind of share this thing. But it legitimately was that Moonlight had won and La La Land had been called up as the winner. Now, let me explain how this works. Basically, when the Academy is voting, they tabulate them secretly, all the votes, and then there's actually a company who is in charge of tabulating these votes and putting the winners on the envelope, on the piece of paper, putting them in the envelopes, and then they're actually stored in a briefcase. The reason for this is because it's a live event. You don't want people, anyone knowing who won until the envelope is actually opened. So no one is supposed to know who is the actual winner until the envelope is opened and it is announced. Now here's the tricky part. What happens is they actually have 2 sets of briefcases that have 24 envelopes for the 24 different winners. And they have one on stage right and stage left, just depending on who is, which way the people are coming from and where they can pick up their envelope, so they don't have to, meet in the center or go to one side or the other. And so there are 2 envelopes that both have the winners for every category. Now, here's where it gets tricky. There are only 2 people who actually know who the winners are, and they are hired by that company, and they memorize all of the winners. Their job is to know every single person before the envelope is open who won. And so their job is to make sure that maybe someone just disagrees with it, maybe someone wants to pull a prank, but if any point it is announced that someone won when they did not, it's supposed to be their job to go and fix the problem. But in the 80 plus years of the Oscars, this has never happened. They kind of have, they've said it's a contingency, but it's kind of all theoretical because there's no reason that would ever happen. But this time it happened. Apparently what happened was the Best Actress, Emma Stone, gave her speech. She had her envelope, and then on the other side of the stage was the other Best Actress envelope. So there were 2 of them. One was given for the actual presentation, and then one was mistakenly given instead of the Best Picture one. So by the time that they got out there, they opened the envelope, and it said Best Actress, Emma Stone, La La Land. So there was a little bit of confusion because it said La La Land, but it also said Emma Stone. You can tell that they're trying to stall a little bit, but I think that eventually they just grow impatient, and they thought that maybe it was a bit, and so they say La La Land, and apparently this is when backstage erupts, and everyone starts freaking out. oh my gosh, they got the wrong envelope. And so they have to literally run up there and like figure out what the heck is going on, because these two people who it's their job to memorize who actually won now have to jump into action for the first time in the history of the Academy Awards and say that they got it wrong. We need to make this stop. And the reason that they do this is because they don't want there being any physical evidence besides the envelopes that say who the winners are. People bet on these things, and just the live entertainment factor of it. So if you ever had a list just sitting out, someone could easily take a picture of it. Someone could take that picture, tweet it out to the world, and now everyone knows, and the suspense is gone for the entire show. So it was kind of a weird comedy of errors. The whole fact that one, the wrong envelope was handed out. Two, that there are now two envelopes, which most people just did not know. I did not know about that until last night. Three, the fact that when they opened it, they decided to actually say La La Land instead of waiting and trying to figure out. I think that, that's really tough in a live atmosphere where, you're on live TV, there's an envelope. Like, do you turn around and do you ask, or are you like, this is the wrong thing? What do you do? And so it's kind of tough to kind of put yourself in that situation. And it was funny because last night there were a million conspiracy theories. The fact that one of the funniest ones I saw was that Leonardo DiCaprio was the last person seen holding the envelope for Best Actress. And so some people were saying that he intentionally handed off the wrong envelope to the next presenters, kind of as a ribbing for him taking so long to get his own Oscar. So there are all these different things that came out, but it looks like it was just sort of like you never would have guessed this happened. People just get the wrong envelope. One thing I will say is that La La Land really did a great job of not making it as awkward as it could have been. That could have been really uncomfortable. That could have been really unprofessional. And so for the producers of La La Land to say, hey, you guys won, and then Moonlight to come up and accept that award and be so gracious, because that was sort of kind of crummy for both movies. Winning Best Picture is probably one of the highlights of most of those people's lives, to work so hard on something and to be recognized for it. And so to have that and then get it taken away, and then also to think that you lost that and now the story is a little bit more about the whole mixing up of the envelopes more than Moonlight being the best picture. So it kind of, I don't want to say it hurts it, because Moonlight is still getting plenty of praise, but it's not your stereotypical moment that you would picture. It's kind of half and half, even though Moonlight fully won it. It wasn't the big moment that they kind of hoped, where they were sitting, they were claimed to be the victors, and then they were able to go up, give a regular speech without all the confusion. But I do think it's also good for the Academy Awards, because it, that's one of the joys of live TV. The fact that now I think that more people are going to pay attention to Moonlight, and I don't know if that's just my opinion, but I feel like more people might pay attention to Moonlight because now it toppled La La Land, which is sort of, like I said earlier in the podcast, an easy layup. Like it's just an easy film to pick as Best Picture. And so the fact that another film beat it, I think that's going to give it a lot of attention. And you're going to have a lot of people who are finding out about this, who didn't even watch the Oscars, and are now going to hear a lot more about just the name Moonlight and the film Moonlight than they would if it just won in regular fashion. Because I think this is going to be a story that has some holding power. So those were kind of the interesting parts of the Oscars. Overall, I thought that Jimmy Kimmel did really well hosting. I thought that he did a good job of, knowing his audience and knowing that his audience is mostly a liberal, artistic community, while at the same time never really diving into offense. He had a few jokes about President Trump. He had a few, but nothing that was really cutting. And I feel like he had a very good balance. One of my favorite jokes that he said was, we are Hollywood. We don't judge you based on your gender or the color of your skin or you know, what country you're from. We judge you by your age and your weight, like we're supposed to do. And I thought that was really funny, kind of, kind of just poking fun at how a lot of Hollywood is very like, PC, all equality, but then at the same time, that's a very well known thing that depending on how you look or how old you are, you're specifically casted for specific roles. So I thought he did a very good job of balancing both of those. Still being, about equality and taking some shots at the president and at politicians in general, while at the same time also poking fun at himself and having a good time while doing so. So I thought that he did a really good job and handled it very well. He did what a host should do. He really helped the show move along. He had some bits, but he didn't become the point of the show, which I think is very important when it comes to hosting these sort of things. I think that a lot of times you can get so caught up in trying to be funny that you kind of just take away from the entire event. So I really did enjoy the fact that he did a really good job. But that is kind of my overall look at the Oscars, and I am wondering, what did you guys think of it? What did you think deserved the praise that it got, and what do you think maybe got snubbed a little bit? The one thing that I feel like should have gotten a little bit more attention was Lion. Once again, if you have not seen Lion, that was probably one of it wasn't the best film of the year, but it was the one that emotionally impacted me more than any film I've seen in a very long time. So it had its flaws, but I would still say it was by far one of the best films that I've seen in a very long time. So I was kind of hoping that they would have won, probably not for Best Picture or even supporting actor, because I thought that he did well, but that was a very heavy category. And I would definitely say that I was hoping it would have won maybe in Best Adapted Screenplay or something along those lines. But that was kind of my big disappointment, that and the fact that How Far I'll Go did not win Best Song. But I want to know, what did you guys think? What did you like? What did you think should have won? Let me know in the comments down below, or feel free to tweet me at RealMattWaz, or tweet us at what we watched on Twitter, and let me know what you guys thought.